Assalamualaikum. In this video, me and my team members will explain about the idealism theory in international relations. So firstly, I will explain about the definition of idealism. Idealism can be defined as a philosophical theory that argues that ideas, values and moral or spiritual principles are the real foundation of understanding the world. Idealism also holds that the ideas, thought and beliefs that give the world meaning are more important than material objects. In international relations, idealism is a theoretical perspective that highlights how concepts, morals and ideals influence global politics. Idealism also developed after World War I as a reaction to the terrible effects of power struggles between nations. It believes that people are naturally good and can work together, and the idealists imagine a world based on peace, justice and law. These views stress that morality, ethics and shared values guide how countries act, believing that reason and goodwill could overcome global chaos. Next, I will explain about the founders of idealism. Firstly is Plato. Plato is the founder of classical idealism. He is an idealist because his metaphysics consistently finds ultimate truth not in the tangible world but in abstract or non-material forms, which is ideas. Plato's idealism emphasized a conceptual realm where true universal truth can only be reached in the mind as ideas in order to explain human experience. According to Plato, philosophy's primary goal was to study ideas and concepts like beauty, truth and goodness rather than the world's material objects. Next is Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant is the founder of Transcendental Idealism. According to Transcendental Idealism, we only perceive the world as it appears to us through the structure of our minds, such as space, time and causality. It means that our perception of reality is shaped by our minds. Third is George Berkeley. George Berkeley is the founder of subjective idealism. Berkeley's idealism is called subjective idealism because he limits the reality to spirits and to the ideas attained by spirits. It believes that reality only exists in the mind and that objects only exist when they are experienced. Lastly, Woodrow Wilson. He is the 28th President of the United States and he is an important figure in American foreign policy history. He is the founder of Wilsonian idealism and his idea aimed to change the global order by advancing international collaboration, democracy and peace. Wilson's suggestion to establish the League of Nations intended to settle disputes and prevent future conflict. Wilson's advocacy for the League of Nations laid the foundation for the creation of the United Nations (UN), which aimed at promoting peace and preventing war through diplomacy and cooperation. It shows that even though there is failure of the League of Nations, which highlight the limits of Wilsonian idealism, his legacy still remains on in the organizations and his ideas influence the contemporary international system.
Next, I will explain about the main points of idealism in international relations. Idealism in philosophy is the view that the mind shapes reality and the ideas are more important than physical objects. According to idealists, what we know about the world is based on how our mind interprets experiences, not just what our senses detect. The first main point of idealism is that reality is influenced by our idea and thoughts. This means our understanding of the world depends on mental interpretations. Second, idealism believes that ideas, rules, and principles are more real and more important than material things. Physical objects may change, but ideas such as justice, peace, or equality remain. Third, idealism assumes that true knowledge comes from the mind, not from the raw physical observations. Next, I will explain about the three principles of idealism in international relations. Firstly is the primary of mind and consciousness. Idealism states that the mind and consciousness are the most basic parts of reality. The mind is not just a product of physical processes, but something that actively shapes how we see the world. In the context of international relations, this means that countries do not act only based on material power like military strength or economic resources. Instead, they may act based on shared norms, ethics, values, or visions of peace. Because of this belief, idealist theories emphasizes diplomacy, cooperation, and moral obligations as the foundation for global peace. For idealists, ideas like justice, human rights, and international law guide how states behave. The second principle is the role of perception and experience in shaping reality. Idealism also focuses on how perception shapes our understanding of the world. What we see as reality is influenced by our experiences and the way we interpret them. In international relations, this mirrors how states perceive one another. A country may see another state as a friend, a threat, or a rival, and this perception can influence foreign policy, alliances, or even conflict. This means idealism leans more on subjective perception rather than only objective material facts. For example, misunderstandings or mistrust can lead to tension, while positive perception can encourage cooperation or treaties. The third principle is the relationship between the individual and the external world. Idealists believe the external world can be seen as a projection of the mind. Others argue it is a shared reality created through the combined consciousness of many people. In international relations, this idea suggests that states act not only based on material interests but also based on ideas, laws, shared norms, and collective beliefs. The external world in international relations such as alliances, international organizations, and institutions like the United Nations exist because states share common beliefs and agreements. These institutions do not exist physically on their own. They are shaped by the collective ideas and commitments of countries. Idealism in international relations highlights the importance of values, diplomacy, cooperation, and shared global norms in creating a more peaceful world.
Next, I'm going to talk about the analysis of idealism in international relations. So the first strength is moral and ethical foundation. Idealism provides a strong moral and ethical basis for foreign policy. It encourages countries to act based on universal values such as human rights, justice, and democracy, rather than just self-interest. This helps promote a more peaceful and peaceful global environment. Secondly, it focuses on international law and institutions. Idealists strongly support international law and global institutions. For example, organizations like United Nations play a major role in promoting peace, security, and global cooperation. Idealism believes that with strong institutions, conflict can be resolved through dialogue instead of war. Next is response to transnational issues. Idealism is also useful for addressing global challenges that no single country can solve alone, such as poverty, climate change, and pandemic. It encourages coordinated global efforts because these issues require cooperation across borders. Next, I'm going to explain about the weaknesses in idealism of international relations. The first is neglect of power and national interest. One major weakness is that idealism sometimes underestimates the importance of power and national interest. A country that focuses too much on ideas may become unprepared to protect its own security or economic needs. Secondly, is difficulty influencing others. Another problem is that idealists often lack of the powers to force or influence other governments. For example, efforts to promote democracy in countries like Russia or China often fails because the state rejects external pressure. Lastly is unintended consequence. Idealist policies can sometimes backfire. A key example is the 2003 US invasion of Iraq. It was intended to build a democratic country, but instead it caused instability and long-term conflict in the region. In conclusion, idealism offers a positive vision for international relations by promoting values, cooperation, and global solutions. However, it also faces challenges, especially when ideas clash with political realities and national interests. Understanding both the strength and weakness helps us see how idealism shapes global politics today.
Next, we move to the impacts toward international relations. Idealism provides a fundamental framework that significantly strengthens international cooperation through global institutions. Idealist principles heavily influence organizations like the United States and various international human rights declarations. These institutions facilitate collaboration on critical global issues, including sustainable development, human rights, and environmental protection. By encouraging countries to support and join this international and regional alliance, Idealism promotes the belief that states can achieve peace and security through collective efforts. This collaborative approach helps lessen the chances of conflict and actively builds mutual trust between nations. Furthermore, Idealism plays a crucial role in promoting a moral and ethical foreign policy among states. It encourages government to base their international dealings not solely on self-interest or power dynamic, but on core principles of justice, human rights, and shared ethical values. This perspective leads nations to endorse humanitarian aid, actively denounce grave human rights violations, and work to advance democratic ideals across the world. Idealist governments are typically more proactive in condemning atrocities like ethnic cleansing and applying pressure on regimes that engage in abuse, demonstrating that high moral values can often supersede purely self-interested motivations when making foreign policy decisions. Next, the third major impact is the strong emphasis Idealism places on encouraging peaceful conflict resolution. The Idealist belief system holds the virtually every international conflict, whether concerning territorial dispute, political disagreement, or trade issues. This can be successfully resolved through diplomatic means, such as negotiation, political dialogue, or organized peace conference. This framework strongly advocates for the use of impartial third parties to assist in dispute resolution. These mediators include respected international leaders, regional bodies like ASEAN, and judicial bodies such as the International Court of Justice. Finally, Idealism is central to the promotion and establishment of international law and norms. It actively supports mechanisms designed to hold states accountable when they violate established global laws or universally accepted behavioral norms. By promoting the use of impartial institutions like the ICJ and various UN bodies, Idealism makes it significantly more challenging for states to act unilaterally or unlawfully without facing international consequences. These institutions serve not only to resolve specific disputes but also to reinforce a structure of legally binding accountability, ultimately encouraging a broader compliance and contributing to a more orderly and predictable global system.
To sum up, Idealism focuses on moral principles, cooperation, and the potential for international advancement. Idealists provide a way to settle disputes without using force by supporting cooperative international institutions, collective security, disarmament, and the rule of international law. The idealist viewpoint on preventing war offers a convincing and hopeful vision for a more peaceful world. Even though challenges and criticism exist, the principle of idealism continues to motivate attempts to build a more peaceful world community. That's all from us. Thank you.
Hi, so this will be our Q&A session.
Okay, so I've got the first question from the audience. How does idealism view international conflict, Shafi?
Based on our research, idealism see conflict as something that can be reduced through communication, diplomacy, and mutual understanding. They believe that conflicts are caused by misunderstanding or lack of cooperation, not just by power struggles.
So my question is, can idealist approach prevent conflicts between states?
An idealist approach can help prevent conflicts between states because it focuses on ideas, shared values, and cooperation rather than just military power. By promoting diplomacy, moral obligations, and international norms, idealism encourages states to resolve disputes through dialogue instead of war. For example, the United Nations provides a platform for negotiations, helping countries manage disagreements peacefully. In this way, idealism shows that when states prioritize ethics, communication, and collaboration, conflicts are less to escalate.
So next question that for Dania, does idealism influence decision making in Malaysian ministry or agencies?
I think idealism does influence decision-making in Malaysian ministries and agencies, especially in values, policies, and ethical standards. However, the extent of idealism in practice depends on the leader and the system itself.
So for the last question, how would liberalism and idealism explain international peace differently?
Okay, so basically, in international
relations, idealism holds that collaboration, global ethics and shared moral values are the sources of peace. However, liberalism supports collaboration, but it emphasizes more on the democracy, institutions and economic interdependence. For instance, an idealist would argue that because people are more moral beings, there can be a peace. But liberal would argue that peace is possible when nations follow the rules. Can be like follow the rules from UN or trade agreements.
That's all for our video presentation.